So this is the last way that I'm going to show you guys of making sigils. You just make a number wheel starting with A, going around to M, N going around to U, and then V going around to Z. We're going to use the same phrase, but this time we're going to shorten it to one word, and we're actually going to shorten this word as well to beauty. And then from there, you start by doing a circle on the first letter, draw a line to the second, a line to the third, a line to the fourth, a line to the fifth, and a line to the last, and then end with a circle. If it does something like this where it goes through one of them, so it's A-U-T, I'll usually do a circle as well at the U, at whatever one it crosses through. So this is what my sigil for beauty looks like. Because it went B-E-A-U circle T-Y. B-E-A-U-T-Y.
If you're born on any of these days, you're probably the least favorite child. The 3rd, the 13th, the 17th, the 20th, the 22nd, the 29th, the 1st, the 15th.
I was sad last night, and I saw someone making blue mac and cheese on TikTok, and I was like, you know what, this will make me feel better. I love mac and cheese. I love the color blue. Let's make them one. So I had the food coloring in.
You know, if you're gonna be late to my class, you could at least bring... Thank you. Have a seat.
Oh my god. Y'all ain't ready. So, this hacking group called Anonymous has come back from the dead to speak upon global issues that are going on right now. It hasn't even been 24 hours yet, and already they've deleted the Minneapolis Police Department website, hacked the Chicago cop radio, released signed documents that Trump is involved in a sex trafficking ring, and leaked the paperwork where he paid off the parents of the children that he molested, and found proof that he did in fact release a hit on Epstein when they claimed it was a suicide, but we all knew it was murder. They've also uncovered a huge list of a lot of celebrities that are involved in the sex trafficking ring, including Naomi Campbell and a shit ton of other celebrities. I can't even list them all. It's fucking insane. They also exposed the royal family for being involved in a sex trafficking ring and ordering a hit on Princess Diana. And they're fighting ISIS by flooding their accounts with gay porn.
This is a Vedic square. It's basically a multiplication grid that extends to the number 9. So I could say 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8. But when I get something like 8 times 4, which is 32, I would add those 2 digits together to get one number. So 3 add 2 is 5. So you eventually end up with something like this. Yeah, it doesn't look too special, I know. But if I was to choose a number, say the number 1, and to find them all in the square, then join them up in a ruler, watch what happens. Check it out, eh? And it actually works for any number. This is F4 and the green is 6. And actually a lot of Islamic art is based off of that Vedic square. Because whilst they believe that God is too great to be drawn by humans, they believe the number system is a divine thing handed to us. Vedic squares, eh?
What your favorite band says about you. You probably only know this band for disrespect your surroundings. You only like this band because Asking Alexandria is too simple for you. No, 14-year-old girl, this band is not death metal. You're a spoiled little brat that whined and complained when your mother didn't give you a candy bar at the store. Okay, we get it. You're trying to be edgy and cool. You're not. You're just pathetic and insecure. Be real with yourself. You're only into this band because you think Andy is attractive. It's either spin kick or no kick. You were looked over and you're underappreciated. You're now just becoming a goth person. When a day to remember is too soft for you. You're an abusive asshole who has an ego too big for their own head and is too delusional to realize their shitty behavior.
Cause I just wanna party all night in the neon lights so we can let it go. I just wanna feel your body right next to mine all night long. Baby, slow down the song.
Fun fact, did you know that every couple of years, NASA puts out an article that says we have a 13th sign. Like, literally every couple years they do that just for funsies. Without ever talking to an astrologer and assuming that astrologers don't know astronomy. We do. Due to the progression of the ages, we actually move in relationship to the stars backwards 1 degree every 72 years. This is where we get the ages from. So our relationship to the stars will never remain constant. It's always moving slightly backwards. So there's something called the zodiacal wheel, which is an imaginary 360-degree circle that encompasses the Earth. Because there's only 360 degrees in a circle, only can ever be 360 degrees in a circle. There can't be a 13th sign because that 360-degree circle is split into 12 different segments that take up 30 degrees. Those are named after the constellations. They are namesakes. We do not use the actual locations of the stars, so there will never be a 13th sign.
My biggest fear is that eventually you will start to see me the way I see myself.
Howdy doody. I don't know if anybody else does this, but when people send me messages and I don't really know how to respond, but I don't want to leave them unread, I just like the message to let them know that I saw it. I acknowledge that they sent me something, because I feel really bad just leaving people unread with nothing to say. Like, it's my way of saying I don't know how to respond. But I see you, and I'm not ignoring you.
Down by the bay, where the watermelon rot, if you go home, just don't get caught,
Well, ma'am, the lab results came back and this is hard to say, but your son tested highly on our simp scale.
Oh, goodness gracious. But doctor, what does it even mean to be a simp?
Well, son, allow me to explain.
If you're only being nice cause you wanna lay the pipe, you're a simp. You're a simp, you're a simp when you pay for all the clothes and then she says thank you bro, you're a simp. You're a simp, you're a simp, you're a simp, you're a simp. No, you've never been a pimp, you're a simp.
Here are some more assumptions I would make about you based off of your favorite video games from someone who's actually worked in the industry. It's the God complex and the need to build a functioning life that you can't have in real life for me. This one depends, but long story short, you were a World War II kid who got into sci-fi and you have a bit of a savior complex. You can't save everyone, it's okay. History as a concept is really interesting to you, but history books are boring, so you play these games instead. People write you off as sort of edgy and nonsensical, but you're actually surprisingly articulate and intelligent, and it takes a lot of people by surprise. Wildlife escapism, except you're escaping even harder from reality because the aesthetic is so far from the truth. Toxic weeb. No one will ever love you as much as these fictional men loved you, but also impeccable taste. Me too.
More facts you didn't ask for, kind of a beef fact. There's a moth out there called the deadhead hawk moth. You might recognize it by the fact that it has an iconic skull-looking symbol on its thorax. Well, this moth has a neat trick. It really likes honey, and so it can mimic the scent of the queen of the bees, therefore making the bees think, wow, not only is this thing safe, but I must dedicate my life to protecting this thing. It goes into the hive and it starts consuming as much honey as it possibly can, including the royal jelly, which we'll get into later. It does have a time limit, though, because eventually the bees will go, wait, this isn't my fucking queen, and they will attack, and I tell you what, if they realize that before it gets out, that thing is fucked. So basically, these moths go on a suicide mission for honey. I see you.
Since you guys liked my favorite lesser known emo/punk bands, I thought I would do my favorite female fronted / all female punk bands. Let's go. First up, we got Girlwood. These women are absolutely amazing, and they literally call themselves Kentucky Fried Queerdos. A lot of people know their song I'm Your Dad from TikTok, but their entire discography is amazing. Next up, if you want something a little bit more grungy, I really suggest listening to The Royal They. My favorite song by them is Sludge Fucker. Next up, we got Destroy Boys. I really suggest listening to I Threw a Glass at My Friend's Eye and Now I Have Probation, or Now I'm on Probation, something like that. Next up, we got Mommy Longlegs. I think that this band sounds kind of similar to Bratmobile, so if you like them, I really suggest listening to this band. My favorite songs by them are Sorority Girls and Bitch Island. If you want a whole ass mood of a song, I really suggest listening to Siri Open Tinder by Childbirth. Next up, we got the band Vile, and I really like their newest song called Or Die because it's about how women don't get enough representation in the DIY punk scene. And lastly, we got the band Thick. I really suggest listening to their song Mansplain.
Okay, what are the rules again?
So, this is how you play Paranoia. I would ask someone a question, and I would whisper it in his ear, like Cole. If you had to sexually harass someone, who would it be? And you would say someone at the table.
Out loud. Out loud.
Say that name out loud, and Evan would have no clue, or anyone would have no clue what the question actually
Then
was.
you flip a coin.
I'm getting to it. Then you flip a coin.
I have a coin.
If the coin is heads, you die because you have to say the question out loud. So what was the question?
Who at the table would I sexually harass?
Fucking knows. And if it's tails, no one knows.
That's why it's paranoia. That's why you're always paranoid. The whole video will be on YouTube.
Starbucks a year ago to the day. To celebrate that anniversary, here's how to make cold brew. You'll need 50 to 55 grams of whole bean coffee, and you're gonna grind it and make it coarse. It should look something like this. Add the grounds to some container you're going to brew in. For the 50 to 55 grams of coffee, you're gonna add 1 liter of water, and you're gonna partially depress the plunger. This is really hard to do with one hand. So your cold brew should be brewing like this in a French press. For the concentrated liquid cocaine version, you're gonna brew for 24 hours. For the non-concentrate version, that's still very caffeinated, 12 hours. It's been about 20 hours now, which is honestly enough time, so I'm gonna depress the plunger. I'm drinking this uncut. It's gonna be great.
You made me wear a seatbelt. You refused to drive unless I had one on. You made me hold your hand when I crossed the street, and you made me look both ways just in case. You made me clean my room. You made me take a shower. You made me care. And then you left. You left.
What the young adult book you read as a teenager says about you. Emo edition. If you read the Vampire Academy series, you weren't really emo, you just had like a facial piercing and hung out with the kids who wore a lot of black. If you read the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd, you shoplifted from Hot Topic because you grew up poor and you couldn't really afford to be emo, but you really wanted to. If you read the Vampire Kisses manga or books, I don't know how to say this nicely, but you definitely had a DeviantArt. If you read this series, you definitely wrote poetry about like butterflies and being tormented and shit, and you just wanted a harem of alternative guys, like one for each alternative subgenre, and no one can fault you for that. If you read the Wicked Lovely series, I fuck with you so hard. Like, being able to see fairies and your boyfriend just lives in a fucking abandoned train, like what a goal. If you read Beautiful Creatures, you were definitely a weird girl growing up, and you just wanted someone to fall in love with you because of that.
Don't know what you're saying. You're flying higher than a plane, and I'm not complaining. It's getting too loud, we'll figure it out. I'm out of my brain.
I
haven't talked about the 7 trumpets much just because it scares the absolute heck out of me too. But I now feel the need to talk about it because one of the horns was the locusts. The locusts were surrounded in a lot of symbolism. Essentially, the locusts were these demons that came onto Earth, and then for the first 6 months, they weren't allowed to kill anything. After that passes, they can go ham. Why am I bringing this up, you say? Well, roughly 6 months after the horns that we heard this year, 2 people have died from the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Death or Black Plague. There's a possibility that this means after that sound horned, now the plague is allowed to kill. This means that the last horn to sound will be next year, and it will be the 7th horn. And the 7th horn is the start of the rapture and apocalypse. I have a full 8-minute series about this on my TikTok. If you guys want to scroll back and find it, I wish you the best of luck.
Saint Bernard sits at the top of the driveway. You always said how you love dogs. Je te желаю юного, зато юно умирать.
I guess I'm just a playdate to you.
This world is not meant for you. Run, boy, run. They're trying to catch you. Run, boy, run. Running is a victory. Run, boy, run. Beauty lies behind the hills.
Cucumbers are one of the best things that you can eat for your skin. Not only are they full of water and will keep your body hydrated, but they also contain high amounts of vitamins, minerals, and polyphenols. This is a recipe for my favorite Asian cucumber salad that is so delicious. You want to take about 5 cucumbers or so and peel them just a little bit, but not completely, since a lot of the nutrients are found in the peel. So then slice the cucumbers thickly, place them in the large bowl, season them with salt, toss, and then set aside. Next, you want to take 2 cloves of garlic, smash them, and mince them up very small. Then add them to your cucumber bowl, and again, toss. Then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1.5 tablespoons of rice vinegar, and then 2 teaspoons of chili oil. And voila, a healthy snack.
Hear the sirens. Everything is burning and I love it. Sit and watch the world until it's nothing. Scared of going out into the public. Yeah, we the kings now.
What your school says about you. Part 2. Haileybury. The school's divided into 2 groups. The international students focus on the academics and the Aussie kids focus on the sports. Makes everything balanced and seems like it's an amazing school, but in reality it's a shithole. Burbank went from 100 to 0 real quick, from being a good girl to smashing gear at every single festival. Either now dating a dealer or doing law at uni, no in between. Scotch College. You've got your head so far up your ass that you can chew your food twice. Type of boys to drive their parents' Aston Martin around while pumping 6ix9ine's music. You've never had an original thought in your life, and you spend most weekends at Lucky Cock wearing a Ralph Lauren shirt and fucking boat shoes. Xavier. Home of toxic male masculinity. Always has to one-up you in everything, and you're a guaranteed VCE pass if you play first footy. Terrible name for themselves, especially in the media. Lauriston. Most likely works at Malvern or Paran Macca's. Type of girl to get a sugar daddy even though they come from one of the richest families in Melbourne. Always hangs out with Scotch boys at least 1 or 2 years older than them. No academic skills, but is quality trophy wife material.
I bet you $100 you can't read what's on this piece of paper. You accept it?
You bet that I can't read
Yeah.
it.
So if you read this, you have to say it. If you can read it, you say it. But if you don't read it, I get $100.
Okay.
Okay?
Will you marry me?
Yes!
Corn syrup. Same stuff they use for pig's blood in Kerry.
What's the matter, Sydney? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Why are you doing this?
Things that almost no humans can do, part 14, and if you can, then you're bloody weird.
This one requires very flexible fingers and only 3% of humans could actually do this. It's called the finger twist. Direct this video if you can do it.
I will never be dirt free. Up the stairs, come find me.
I've been seeing this breakfast trend going around for a while, so I'm gonna try it now. Put 3 eggs down in a pan, roll them around a little bit. Now season it with salt and pepper and let it cook for a little bit. So now just when the eggs are about done, you're gonna put a tortilla shell on top. Now flip it over. Add cheese. Add bacon. So it should look like that. Now flip it over and continue toasting it on both sides. And now you have a breakfast quesadilla. Pretty cool, huh?
What your favorite male book character says about you. If your favorite is Rysand from the Court of Thorns and Roses series, you want a cute guy, you're a hopeless romantic, you really want to find that one person, your soulmate. If your favorite is Maven Kalor from the Red Queen series, you like to be choked. If your favorite is Prince Carden from the Cruel Prince series, you want an enemies to lovers type romance in your life. If your favorite is Tamlin from A Court of Thorns and Roses, reevaluate your life. He's trash. Disgusting. If your favorite is Kaz Brecker from Six of Crows, daddy issues. If your favorite is the Darkling from Shadow and Bone, once again, daddy issues. And bad boys, but like so cute. If your favorite is Kaol Westfall from Throne of Glass, you want someone chivalrous and also kind of boring. He's kind of boring, but he's hot. If your favorite is Rowan Whitethorn from Throne of Glass, you have immaculate taste. Beautiful, beautiful men, beautiful personalities.
Do you want a flat stomach and toned abs in just 10 days? The Japanese ab exercise I'm about to show you will do just that. First, grab a foam roller or a rolled up towel and place it under your navel. Lay back and then extend your legs all the way out, making sure that your feet are facing inwards. Next, extend your arms behind you, palms facing down, pinkies touching. Hold this position for 5 minutes, 10 days in a row, and you should start to see results.
Vampires would more than likely be able to see themselves in modern-day mirrors. You want to know why? A lot of different cultures have different interpretations of what the lore of a vampire is, but most commonly it's held that a wooden stake through the heart would kill them, which would kill anybody. Decapitation would kill them, which would kill anybody. Sunlight would kill them, which would clearly kill me. And the last one that a lot of people can agree upon is that they had some kind of allergic reaction to silver, which could literally happen to fucking anyone. In the late 1700s and through the 1800s, a lot of mirrors were made with, you guessed it, silver, which at the time was one of the reasons that it was credited that vampires could not see their reflection in the mirror. Of course, we do have modern day interpretations which say, no, it's not because of that, it's because they don't have a soul, which is totally fine and valid. They're fake fucking creatures. But going off of old school interpretations, yeah, vampires would probably be able to see themselves in modern day mirrors because they're not made with silver anymore.